Welcome back to Shot Recap. Today we're diving into Apocalypto. Humans are hunted like animals, hearts are ripped out on altars, heads roll down temple steps, and the jungle echoes with screams and blood. Tribes burn villages, celebrate human sacrifice, and wipe each other out with disturbing enthusiasm. Until visitors from across the ocean show up. It's gonna get brutal. Let's go. The movie opens with shots of the jungle, where Mayan hunters are chasing a tapir. They drive the animal into a trap lined with spikes. The main character, Jaguar Paw, finishes the kill. As the leader of the hunting party, Jaguar Paw divides the animal's organs among his fellow tribesmen. He also takes a moment to joke around with his friend, Blunted, who still hasn't managed to have children. Jaguar Paw hands him the tapir's testicles. The joke quickly escalates into a brawl, and it's up to Jaguar Paw's father, Flint Sky, the village chief, to break it up. The chief gives the careless warrior some advice. Rub certain leaves on your junk to boost fertility. After butchering the tapir, the hunters get ready to head back to the village. But Jaguar Paw hears something in the jungle. It's not an alien predator, it's a group from another tribe. They're migrating in search of a better life. As payment for safe passage through the land, the travelers offer fish, and in return they get a piece of tapir meat and permission to continue. Jaguar Paw notices it's not just warriors, the entire tribe is on the move, including elders, women, and children. Jaguar Paw wants to find out what destroyed their land, but his father doesn't let him approach the strangers. The hunters return to the village with their kill. On the way, the chief tells them not to speak of the encounter. He doesn't want fear spreading through the hearts of their people. At the same time, he suspects that Jaguar Paw's mind is already infected with the fear carried by the fleeing tribe. Back at the village, Blunted is greeted by his mother-in-law, who, to everyone's amusement, kicks him into the hut to get to work making babies. Jaguar Paw watches his young son playing with a monkey, then heads into his own hut, where his wife awaits pregnant with their second child. Meanwhile, Blunted runs screaming out of the hut. Instead of healing herbs, the chief gave him hot chili peppers, setting him on fire down there. The tribe, starved for entertainment, bursts into laughter at his misfortune. That night, the villagers gather around the fire to hear stories from the wise elder and dance to the rhythm of ancient drums. Only Jaguar Paw sits quietly, deep in thought, until his wife snaps him out of it. At dawn, as a mist hangs low over the jungle and the sun has yet to rise, Jaguar Paw has a dream. He's alone in the thick undergrowth, face to face with the same outsider they met the day before, now holding his own heart, freshly torn from his chest. The man is gasping for breath as a dog at his feet starts barking wildly. Just before Jaguar Paw wakes up, the man looks at him and says one word: run. Jaguar Paw wakes up to the sound of barking dogs. A shaft of sunlight cuts through the trees, and through the jungle brush, warriors from a hostile tribe begin to appear, not the ones they met before. They move slowly, silently, surrounding the sleeping village. Suddenly, the dog falls silent, which catches Jaguar Paw's attention. The raiders begin creeping through the village, taking positions. Moments later, chaos erupts. Some villagers are captured, others are killed, and huts are set on fire. Jaguar Paw rushes to hide his wife and son in a stone cenote. Just as he's lowering them deeper down the well, a raider spots him. Jaguar Paw risks shredding his hands as he drops them as low as he can, then turns to face the fight. Jaguar Paw has to hold off his attacker, careful not to let his family fall and get hurt. After killing the first raider, he throws himself into battle against the others, tying a rope around his waist so his wife can climb out later. He almost kills another enemy, known as Middle Eye, but then he's captured by the warlord in human skull armor, Zero Wolf. Zero Wolf orders them to keep Jaguar Paw alive. But when Jaguar Paw begs his father for forgiveness over their defeat, Middle Eye cuts Flint Sky's throat in revenge. The chief meets death without fear, as a true warrior should. Middle Eye gives Jaguar Paw the nickname Almost before knocking him out with a blow to the head. Jaguar Paw wakes up later, tied to a pole alongside other prisoners being moved. They watch as the victors brutally rape the remaining women. Jaguar Paw scans the area carefully. His wife and son are nowhere to be found. One of the captors approaches the cenote, but sees no one inside. The woman guesses to hide. In response, the captor drops a large rock down the well, injuring the child's leg, then cuts the rope to prevent any escape. The prisoners are forced to their feet and led away, leaving only the youngest children behind in the ruined village. Soon, they're joined with the captured tribe of migrants searching for a better life. During this, Zero Wolf treats his son's injury with a precise bloodletting. The remaining children from both tribes band together and start chasing after the adults. The caravan crosses a fast-flowing river. The kids can't make it across and are left behind on the shore. After the river, the group climbs a mountain trail. An injured prisoner slips off a cliff, threatening to take the others down with him. Jaguar Paw, walking ahead, nearly suffocates as he dangles over the abyss. Middle Eye orders his men not to help them to let them fend for themselves, but through sheer willpower, the prisoners manage to survive. Middle Eye cuts the ropes of the most injured prisoner and throws him off the cliff. Zero Wolf notices the group is falling behind. Seeing one prisoner missing, he asks what happened. When he learns that Middle Eye threw the man off the cliff, Zero Wolf silently pulls out a knife, warning that if even one more prisoner dies without his permission, Middle Eye will lose both his eyes forever. At the evening camp, Zero Wolf gives his son a dagger to mark his passage into manhood, a sign that he's now worthy to sit with the adults around the fire. The next day, the caravan of prisoners narrowly avoids a falling tree. Their path then takes them past a village struck by a contagious disease. Only one girl remains alive, and she's sick. The warriors shove the infected girl away with sticks, but she warns them that their civilization will fall because of a jaguar man who is already here. She says he will turn day into night and bring destruction. The prisoners continue on through the quarries, where dozens of people labor, covered in dust and coughing up blood as they mine and carve stone. The prisoners say they're being taken to the city of stone, where the ground runs red with blood. They pass through settlements of the old, the sick, and the weak. The deeper they go, the richer the neighborhoods become, and the gap between city life and the forest villages grows obvious both in society and technology. The caravan's first stop is at the slave market, where the prisoners are branded with blue paint. Zero Wolf hands over the bargaining rights to his son, marking his first deal. In their trading and market dealings, the natives don't just use money, they also practice theft. Only women are put up for sale. The old woman, Blunted's mother-in-law, is released as an unsellable burden, while the men are taken further. The prisoners are led into a temple whose walls are painted with scenes of human sacrifice. Marked with blue paint, the captives are marched through the crowd toward a towering pyramid where priests roll severed heads down the stairs. The crowd is wild with religious frenzy, welcoming the elite carried on stretchers, while mothers smear sacrificial blood on their babies. The prisoners are led up wooden scaffolds to the top of the sacrificial pyramid, where priests await them. The cult leaders address the nation, promising relief from all troubles through bloody rituals in honor of Kukulkan. Amidst cheers and cries, the priest cuts out the hearts of the supposedly willing victims and beheads them, their heads tumbling down the steps. It's Jaguar Paw's turn. They lay him on the altar, but just as the priest raises the knife, a solar eclipse begins. Seeing it as a bad omen, the superstitious pagans stop the sacrifice, interpreting the eclipse as Kukulkan's thirst being satisfied. Jaguar Paw is taken off the altar, while the priests soak up the glory from the crowd's worship. The prisoners, no longer needed, are driven to a field where they're about to be slaughtered in a brutal, ancient Mayan sport, so bloody it's beyond imagination. Their task is to run to a cornfield where a butcher awaits. If they manage to escape, they're free, but on the other side stand archers and stone throwers. The first pair doesn't even make it to the edge, wounded by spears and stones, then finished off by the butcher. The next pair includes Jaguar Paw. Knowing the rules, he and his partner run in zigzags to make aiming harder. Near the finish line, X's second runner is killed by an arrow, and Jaguar Paw is wounded. The wounded warrior distracts the butcher, Zero Wolf's son, giving Jaguar Paw time to break the arrow and kill the executioner with its tip. Jaguar Paw, injured, hides in the corn thickets. Zero Wolf holds his dying son, then grabs the dagger he was given the day before. Without a word, he takes off in pursuit of Jaguar Paw, followed by 8 loyal warriors. They scour the entire field, which ends in a massive graveyard for the less fortunate victims. Jaguar Paw manages to escape and reaches thick green foliage, where he climbs a tree to hide. But on the same tree is a jaguar cub. The adult jaguar stalks Jaguar Paw's namesake, baring its teeth in displeasure. The warriors realize the fugitive is hiding nearby. One of them has a bloodstain on his shoulder, dripped from above as he ran past. They figure Jaguar Paw is up in the tree and head back. Meanwhile, Jaguar Paw tries to flee from the jaguar, but ends up leading the beast straight to the pursuers. The warrior who lost the right to kill Jaguar Paw and the jaguar itself clash in a brutal fight, and the predator wins. As the hunter's tribesmen kill the animal, while Jaguar Paw uses the chance to escape with all his might, the superstitious savages see the jaguar's death as a bad omen. They recall the sick girl's prophecy about the fall of their world. But that's no reason to let the fugitive, who robbed Zero Wolf of his heir, go free. During a night chase, another pursuer is bitten by a venomous snake. They leave him to die, telling him to slit his wrists to end the suffering. The others nearly catch up to Jaguar Paw. They close in enough to start firing arrows and throwing spears. The pursuers chase him, just like he and his tribe once drove the tapir. Jaguar Paw runs to a river, crashing down as a roaring waterfall. He freezes at the edge, but seeing his enemies close behind gives him courage. He jumps into the rushing water below. Zero Wolf watches from above, hoping the fugitive won't survive. But Jaguar Paw resurfaces and climbs onto the shore, daring the pursuers to enter his forest and fight. One warrior suggests going around the waterfall, and Zero Wolf stabs him in the chest with a dagger. He orders his men to jump down to catch the sun's killer. The warriors obey, but not all survive the leap. One hits his head on a rock. Jaguar Paw rushes into the forest to prepare for battle, but gets stuck in a swamp and nearly drowns. He climbs out, covered in mud, but instead of an alien predator, 5 angry warriors come after him. Using the mud as armor, he throws a beehive at his pursuers. These wild tropical bees aren't your average honeymakers. They'll sting you to death. Next, Jaguar Paw catches a poison dart frog and coats wooden darts with its venom. Ready and waiting, the hero sets up an ambush for his enemies. Jaguar Paw strikes 3 pursuers with his poison darts, weakened by bee stings. One falls writhing in agony, but Jaguar Paw can't finish him off. Then Middle Eye appears. Jaguar Paw fights him, and using a trick, comes out victorious, settling a score that began days ago. Meanwhile, a downpour starts. Rainwater floods the stone cenote, where his wife and child are hiding. To make matters worse, she goes into labor. Jaguar Paw reaches them but can't get them out in time. The remaining 3 pursuers catch up to him. The hero leads them aside, but Zero Wolf shoots him in the chest with an arrow. As Zero Wolf rushes to finish him off, he stumbles into a tapir trap that pierces the warrior. The remaining 2 chase after the wounded Jaguar Paw, who can barely stand. He struggles to reach a coastal beach and collapses to his knees. The pursuers catch up, but don't finish him off. Together, they all watch something off-screen. It turns out to be the conquistador ships landing on the shore. The very sunset of their civilization, foretold by the sick girl, has arrived, leaving the stunned pursuers behind. Jaguar Paw returns to the cenote. In the next scene, he and his wife and children sneak through the jungle, moving away from the shore. The hero casts a wary glance at the ships on the water. The outsiders have arrived, and he wants to take his family far from them. They disappear into the jungle, and the screen fades to black.